boy, So Juve, and we in the building, and welcome to another episode of the My 5 Cents Podcast, a bonus episode for the best kept secret in podcasting. Let me go ahead and introduce the cast characters to my that way. We have HLS.
Habitual line step in the building. What up, fellas?
And what's going on, man? And to my that way, we got the logical genius.
Yo, 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 new year, same old LG. What's up, everybody?
Oh,
Love
I
it,
love that.
love it.
Happy 2026 to you guys both. Oh my goodness.
Same. Back to you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm so glad we're done with 2025. I was over at
Tell me
2025.
about
That day had me under. Oh my god.
Tell me
I
about
don't know about that. Some of these news stories look a little crazy for 2026 and beyond.
Oh, don't
Yeah.
tell me we starting off rough off the bat. What do we got coming in at number 5?
Guys, drivers in California, and it could spread. It could spread, but drivers in California, be warned. That state has implemented a new law allowing automatic speed cameras, particularly in highway work zones, to catch and ticket speeders caught without a cop present. Under the new bill, drivers caught going 11 miles per hour or more can be fined with penalties ranging from roughly $50 to about $500, depending how fast they're going. Advocates say the goal is to improve safety and reduce speeding-related crashes. I say it's some bullshit. Guys, what do you think?
All right. I'm not gonna go with the bull. I'm gonna go with the crashes. Reason being is actually in my last year that I was living in Baltimore, there was an accident at like a work site, and it's due to someone speeding, and you had workers who were working on the highway, and this car went airborne, killed 2 people just like that. So in Baltimore, you'll actually see that as well, where excuse me, that they have the cameras, and they're really tracking and cracking down on the speed limit, especially in work zones. So I would say fair, but if we're talking about like I'm in the middle of nowhere, California, going to Napa Valley, damn, you clocking me?
Yeah, I think this is one of those things where it starts with good intentions, right?
Mhm.
Public safety of the workers, everyone cares about that. No one wants to go to work and end
True.
up, in a hospital or worse, right? But then, as always, turns into some sort of money grab, right? Because I feel like, and I think this is true in a lot of counties and a lot of states and cities. Like, money from tickets and traffic violations are factored in terms of the budgeting for each town, right? They expect to
Makes
make a
sense.
certain amount of money from tickets. I remember state of Connecticut, which I love. I love to drive through it, but I hate to stay in it, right? I know that's your new hometown, fellas, but I think I read a couple years ago, like this one town made like X amount of like millions of dollars annually just off of traffic speeding tickets,
Really?
right? And that's what one of the main sources of income, because they just like to ticket people. And it's hard, right? You don't want the knuckleheads that are speeding through a construction area with people working, doing, hundreds and, miles an hour. But like if someone's traveling 12, 13 miles an hour, 15 miles an hour, like, are you gonna penalize them for that stuff? Like, I get it. There's always some sort of like buffer, right? Usually just like a 5-mile limit, because there's in the New York area, there's speed traps everywhere, right? And that's why they call them speed traps, like that. They're there to get you. So, but yeah, I mean, I get it on one hand, and on the other hand, I'm like, it's like almost like a money grab.
So you
Yeah.
saying this is like the counter to Waze? Like we don't got too slick with
Maybe.
Waze, and they're like, nah, you guys ain't getting pulled over anymore because you got the Waze going on. So we're gonna go ahead and do this.
Maybe.
I know there was some litigation at some point about these speed cameras, and if it's on the dashboard of a car and it's like a heater, it wasn't working or doesn't recognize. I'm concerned about all the folks they're going to get allegedly, and it'd be false reading, and then we got to pay tax dollars to do through this court process. So the money they're looking to generate is actually backfiring, because now we're spending more money in legal fees. Yeah, I don't know. Safety is always important, and I agree. I just don't know if this is it.
I don't know. Sam's Club can count how many items are in my cart when I walk out there, so I don't know. They might have some accuracy to this thing. We'll see. What we got going on at number 4?
Speaking of money, at number 4, Drake's in the news. He's back in the news for other things other than there's rap beef with Kendrick. A new federal class action lawsuit names rapper Drake and streamer Aiden Ross and the crypto casino Stake.us in a RICO, aka racketeering case filed in Virginia. Plaintiffs say the group promoted an illegal online gambling operation and used Stake's unregulated tipping system to move money and finance schemes that allegedly inflated Drake's music streaming numbers via bots and fake streams. The suit claims consumers were misled about Stake's legality and suffered financial harm. It seeks at least $5 million in damages and accuses the defendants of deceptive marketing and racketeering. Fellas, Drake is in the news and not for good reason as of late.
He hasn't been in the news for good reasons for a while. I'm waiting for a hit record, Drake. Get out of this nonsense and start making some music again. He used to own the summer. Maybe summer 2026 will be his year, or maybe he might be looking to do a song with Diddy. Who knows? Who knows?
Oh no, not doing a song with Diddy. There's a couple of things going on here. Wait, where's this website that we can get these bots? Can we boost our streaming numbers? Like, where do we get that?
True story.
And then the other piece is like, it just kind of reminds me of the gambling story that we had with the NBA players. Like, you're Drake, you're a top dog. Like, inflate what so that instead of 1 million you're at 1.5 million? Like, I mean, I just don't even understand why you would do that.
I mean, it's all about money, right? Otherwise they wouldn't do it, right? Unless there's some money to be made, a significant money to be made, because it's not like Drake is broke, right? So he's not making $50. You know, he's probably making millions of dollars. If this is all true, right? Then it's a money grab. Maybe, you know, streaming numbers have an impact on everyone, right? And how much you stream, how many people follow you. So musicians, social media personalities, us, right? Like as you said, we want to get our streaming numbers up. So I don't know. It's money. Everything's about money.
And number 3 is probably about money. So President Trump's recent drive to have the United States take control of Greenland, which is a Danish territory, has drawn surprise and concern from lawmakers. Now we're concerned. You believe this? Including members of his own party. Trump is framing it as a national security priority, citing Greenland's strategic Arctic location and existing U.S. military presence. But many Republicans, including figures like Representative Blake Moore and Senator Rand Paul, warn that talking about annexing or seizing Greenland is dangerous rhetoric that could damage the U.S.'s relationship with NATO allies and is legally and diplomatically unrealistic. This is illegal? What did we just do with Venezuela? Fellas, what is this about? Is this about oil? Or is this about something else?
It's definitely about oil, because there's a new report that's coming out. According to Truth Social, Donald Trump posted on Truth Social that Venezuela will be turning over to the U.S. between 30 and 50 million barrels of oil. So I definitely think there's a self-interest grab there. You did it with Venezuela. Now you're looking after Greenland. Something's up.
Yeah, this shit doesn't make sense. Like, it's like, man, what country are we with? Like, we literally went over to take over another country with, like, is this like Iraq again? Right? Good weapons of mass destruction, right? That's why we went into Iraq, because of weapons of mass destruction. We supposedly are going into Venezuela because the president had a thing with the local drug like cartel or something like that. Like, I don't even have the facts, and that was their reasoning for going. Like, he was promoting like the drug cartel, and they've been flagged by us being the United States as like a terrorist group. But like, everyone looks at it and says this smells of an oil grab, right? But what do you do? It seems so weird. Like, you have all of the, like, NATO and United Nations and all that stuff, where, you know, Russia went in to invade Ukraine, and everyone's like, that's so wrong, that's so wrong. But everybody's watching Russia to go into Ukraine, right? The United States shouldn't, this is so wrong with Venezuela, but everyone's just watching. It almost seems like all these other like world bodies and unions like are a farce, right? It's just to show that countries are communicating or policing each other, but there's really not. Like whoever's in power, everyone else is too scared to step in because they have bigger guns or too scared to start a war or escalate a conflict. So I don't know. This shit's all weird, man. This doesn't make sense.
Yeah, he's talking about narco terrorism. That's what's happening here. But Trump has lied to us again. Surprise, surprise. Like, I mean, at this point, it's the status quo, and I think I saw Marjorie on CNN talking about, oh, he said no more regime changes, and now we're doing a regime change. Surprise, surprise. Trump has lied to us again. What's the next article?
Yeah, yeah. Moving on. So this classic Lego toy, it's getting on with the times now. Things are changing with this classic toy. Lego, the classic brick building toy, has unveiled a new smart brick. It's packed with sensors, lights, and a tiny speaker and a custom chip that lets you build, and those builds will respond to sounds and visual effects based on how you play with them. The first sets will go on. The first sets will be Lego Star Wars theme and go on sale in the beginning of March of this year, with pre-order starting now. Lego says the idea is to bring more interactivity and immersion to physical Lego play while keeping the experience hands-on and, more importantly, screen-free. This is a huge involvement for Lego, I think. What are your thoughts?
I don't know how I feel, to be all the way honest with you. I don't know how I feel. Like this seems like a little bit weird. I watched the little video. I saw like the Lego like moving his arm and all of that stuff. I said, hold on, wait a second. Like this seems like some spooky possession thing. Plus, they're putting chips in the Lego. Is this just another form of being able to track people? Like Big Brother is going to be listening to us. I feel like there's a lot. I don't know. I'm very skeptic about the Lego. That's me.
I'm for it, I think, because um Lego has evolved, which is good for them. Like you look at it, their design is basically the same bunch of blocks, and you collect them together, and you create something artistic, something blah, something out of your imagination or whatever it may be. I have nieces and nephews that grew up playing. I played Legos when I was younger. It's a generational toy, and throughout the years, it's evolved. Right before it was just Lego bricks, and then you had like Lego bricks that were very much in like engineering where there was mechanics and motors and all of that stuff. So that kind of helped to educate kids and kind of like show them how things move and like function right in that regard mechanically. So I think this is just the next evolution of it. I'm curious to see like with all like the Lego artists out there, like where what it evolves to, like how, like Lego art like is a big thing. So I'm curious to see how that evolves and how better it gets with like now there's sound right and kind of making it a little bit um more animated like in terms of a toy. So I think it's good for Lego to kind of be up with the times and try to stay modern and stay relevant. So but there's that factor of everything's being tracked now, so that is a fair argument right there.
I actually kind of love it. The innovation that Lego has done over the years has been small. I mean, they're classic, just bricks that stick together. So this is huge. And as you mentioned, Logical Genius, there's Lego artists. Like imagine going to the museum and you're seeing like this Lego dinosaur that actually roars,
Mhm.
right? That moves. There's mechanics involved, there's engineering involved. I think it'd be great for those Lego enthusiasts. I think it sucks for parents who step on Legos all the time with their bare feet, but I think for kids, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, because that chip Lego is going to be an expensive one, I'm sure. What we got coming in at number one?
So at number one, speaking of things that suck, this might suck for the movie theaters. So after Netflix planned acquisition of Warner Brothers, reports say that Netflix is pushing for a 17-day exclusive theatrical window before films hit streaming. Netflix argues that most box office earnings come in the first couple of weeks, and that long window aren't necessarily consumer friendly. Of course, theater chains oppose this, insisting that traditional windows of about 45 days are vital to selling the theatrical experience and sustain office revenue, and warning that shrinking the window could harm cinemas financially and culturally. Do you like this move by Netflix, fellas?
I don't. I don't. I actually love going to the movies. I love the experience. The movie theater is actually one place where like I could put my phone away and it stays away for like those 2-3 hours. Like I'm lost in the experience. If I'm home watching the movie, I might be texting, I might be playing a game while I'm looking at the screen. I think the movie theater is granted it's expensive with popcorn, sodas, whatever, but just the experience, like I could unplug literally and just be immersed for those 2.5 hours. I enjoy it.
I think the bigger story is this Netflix revenge tour has just been ruthless. I'll be Blockbuster. The level of you guys messed up by not acquiring this little
Blew
Netflix
it.
thing. You have changed the whole trajectory of life altogether. Because they're like, yo, bump your movie theaters. In 2 weeks' time, 3 weeks max, we'll say, we're gonna be streaming that production. Wow, is all I have to say. Of course, they're going to make even more bucks because now we're talking about the price for being a Netflix member is going to rise up. Maybe you even have
Mhm.
to pay movie theater prices just to watch it at home because it's already
Mm,
gone from the movie theater. So it's not even like going to be part of the subscription. It's going to be something almost like Prime where you almost purchase and
yeah.
rent things. Like, ooh, Netflix Revenge Tour, vicious. This is savage.
This makes sense. It makes sense for Netflix. Like they by doing this, they have more money in their pockets, right? Whenever theater, my understanding is whenever movies get released in the theaters, they split revenue with the theaters. And I don't know if they I don't think that the movie studios get any revenue from all the concessions stuff that people purchase. That's all pocketed by I think the movie theaters. And
Yeah.
a popcorn or a hot dog that's $10. That's it's inflated prices, right? So it makes sense for Netflix. Why would I? My business model is streaming services, right? If you think about it, they were anti-theater, so to speak, not directly, but that was their model. So why would you break that model to appease these theaters, right? I get it. I enjoy going to theaters as well. Some movies, not all movies.
Yeah.
Some movies don't belong in theater. It should be back in the day, straight to DVD or straight to video, right?
True story.
And I don't buy the argument about it hurting the consumer or the culture. Like, how many times has a movie been released and then immediately goes to like streaming because it did like trash numbers in the movie theaters, right?
Yeah.
So I hope it doesn't like ruin and take away from all of the movie experiences like that should be in the theater. I think this is kind of a little bit of pivot because there was a lot of concern going into this with Netflix taking Warner Brothers because people were concerned that they weren't going to release anything in the theaters. And I think a few movie directors and actors were kind of concerned about that because a lot of them, they say they make their work and produce their work for the theater, right? I think Chris Nolan was one of them. Or yeah, Chris Nolan, I think. So a couple others might have said something as well. So we'll see how this goes. I just hope it doesn't impact the theater too much. I mean, it is a good experience if you can go to a theater and watch a really good movie.
Yeah, and honestly, I think that there might be some positivity to it for the theater chains because consumers will now know I have 2 weeks to see this in theater. So it now gives urgency for me to actually get to the theater. Whereas, like,
Yeah.
nah, I'll check it out in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, and then you never check it out, and then you watch it on
Mm.
Netflix anyways.
Anyway,
So
yeah.
we'll
Yeah.
see, we'll see.
Yeah. I don't like. I just hope it's not a thing. I'm thinking about like when I was a kid. I used to go to the movie theater, and like that was like the first date kind of move, right? You didn't know what to do. You take your little shorty on first date, get some popcorn, and like that was the date. Like, what are teenagers going to do now for their first, hey, I'm going on a little date, and then the parents sit in like the back row to make sure nothing's going on.
Man,
Like,
HLF,
They
that
get-
ain't happening nowadays,
it's
man.
not.
yeah,
The date
yeah,
is they're going to
they're
something
playing
and posting on
Roblox.
TikTok.
That's what they're doing for freaking dates. They're going on Roblox. I'll meet you online.
Yeah,
Get out of
exactly.
here.
Exactly.
I guess I'm an old man. I don't know. I just remember having those first date experiences in the movie theaters, man.
Yeah. Well, you're an old man with an old soul, or
True
you're a man
story.
of a certain age. Either way, this is our 5 cents. Until next time, I guess we'll see you. I feel like I messed that up. But anyways, this is our 5 cents. Peace.